What's up, everyone? Drunken Phoenix here. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to my channel as well as click the notification bell. So today I'm going to be going over videos with people talking about their debt. So, once again, it looks like 2026 is going to be another year where people are still financially, what's the opposite of free? Financially enslaved. We have a new presidency now, and there were like a lot of talks of some really meaningful changes to the economy and just things in general being more affordable for the average American. Well, we're in 2026 now, and things don't seem to be much better. People are still have more debt than ever. So yeah, let's get started.
Everyone's always like, Brenda, why are you working so hard? Why are you doing a full-time job and posting on TikTok all the dang time? It's because I have $78,327 in student loans. And you want to know how much unpaid interest I accrued in the month of February? $523.93. And this is me paying at least a minimum of $2,000 per month. Started with a little bit over $150-something thousand because I had the bright idea of going to grad school so that I can graduate in a healthcare job to help people, but not get paid enough for the amount of student loans I had to take out.
See, that is crazy. I'm sorry that she's going through that. That sucks. This is why, the grad school is not for me. I know my mom was trying to get me to go to grad school. She was like, you should go to grad school. I'm like, I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with my, career choices I've made. Not knocking it. I mean, I think grad school could be very beneficial for some people. We need, like a lot of people like really like elite careers, but just be really mindful and really strategize to know if it's really worth it for you. For this young lady, I mean, evidently maybe she doesn't feel like it's worth it for her. So yeah, those student loans will kick your ass.
Now, my fault, I went to a private university, but still, it shouldn't be this hard to pay off student loan. But based on my PT salary alone, there is absolutely no way that I could pay this much with just that salary alone and live a breathable, decent life. Make it make sense?
Hi, I'm Chloe, I'm in debt, and I am overcommitting to things this year. I keep saying yes to holidays I can't afford, and now I'm stressing about how I'm actually going to afford them. But I don't want to not go. 2026 was what I had planned to be a really good year, full of fun things, and I don't want to not do these things. I already work 2 jobs before you guys tell me to get another job. I already work 2 jobs, okay? Just want to be able to do nice things. I just feel like everything's more expensive. And I don't want to say no. Is anyone else having the same issue?
I have that same issue. I'm a big advocate for, paying off your debts and really just, being on top of your finances. But I might have the unpopular opinion that you should still take that vacation or still take that trip. And I say that because I think when it comes to trips and just travel and just quality time with people, I feel like that's really invaluable. And I also say it because I think vacations and trips, I think they're very over exaggerated in how expensive they are. I think if you go to places, especially in the off season, in fall or something, you'll be surprised at how much cheaper, plane tickets can be to go to a different continent. So I'm a big advocate for that, but I think you should do it within reason, within your budget. But yeah, it's not. I really just think that experiences are really invaluable, and when we're all on our deathbed, we're not going to be thinking about, oh, I saved an extra $2,000 from not going on vacation. We're going to be thinking about our memories. We're going to be thinking about the vacation, about the things we did, the people we were with. So I'm a big advocate for it, just living your life and enjoying it, but still managing your debt, not overdoing it. Even if you maybe you can't afford that trip to Asia or Europe, maybe you should just take a trip, go to the Grand Canyon or go somewhere domestic. But yeah, it's just about having that balance.
I'm really struggling to say no at the moment to things, and I need some self-control, send help.
My life has officially gotten out of control, so let's talk about it so you feel better about yours. As of this morning, I have $186,056.76 worth of debt. That is almost $200,000 worth of debt. I know. Now that number by itself is just so large and so overwhelming that every time I look at it, I kind of just ignore it and I
want to believe that a big portion of that debt is from maybe a house, but I doubt it because I don't know what houses you can get for under $200,000 these days. You know what I'm saying? But let's see what she has to say.
Move on with my day, and then I swipe my credit card and I buy something else because I don't even know really what to do about it at this point. But I am nothing if not ambitious. And what my ambition is telling me this morning is that we're going to fix this and we're going to take care of this one way or another. Of that $186,000 of debt, I have $54,597.36 in credit card debt, just credit card debt. And that's what we're going to tackle first. I am giving myself 52 weeks starting November 1st to pay off all $54,500 worth of credit card debt. So November 1st, 2025 to November 1st or October 31st, 2026, I am going to pay off all let's round it and say all $55,000 worth of credit card debt. Now, is that even possible? I have no idea. That's a lot of money.
I would be curious to know what her salary is. How much does she take? Can she afford to pay $50,000 in debt in a year? Given that she has that much debt, I probably think not. But I don't know. I think it's important to set realistic goals for yourself when it comes to paying off debt. You want to, of course, pay more than the minimum. I have no idea where her minimum would be with that much debt on her credit card. I have no idea. But yeah, set realistic goals so you don't end up disappointing yourself.
I don't even know if I'm physically capable of doing that, but I'm going to spend the next year trying. I'm going to try every side hustle under the sun. I am going to throw as much money at it as I can, and I am going to get those credit cards down to zero if it is the last thing I do. My plan is to start on November 1st and to update weekly on how much I've made on side hustles, and then update monthly on where we are with our debt breakdown and paying off our credit cards. So if that sounds like your jam, or you just want to cheer me on from the sidelines, or you just need to feel better about yourself because there's no way you'd ever get in $186,000 worth of debt, give me a follow. We're going to be on this journey together, and you can watch the highs and the lows, and no matter how good or bad it turns out, I'm going to post it on the internet.
I recently posted about the fact I'm 26 years old and I'm in $95,487.73 worth of debt, and I want to talk about it. Up until 24 hours ago, I did not know that was actually the total of all of my debt, credit cards, and student loans. That number also does not include my auto loan, and if we are adding in my auto loan, the total number is $110,938.83. Since totaling up all of my debt, I don't think I've actually gotten one good breath of oxygen in the last 24 hours. I feel like there is an elephant sitting on my chest, and I don't think I can sit still because all I keep repeating is $95,487.73. All of this debt was racked up through decisions I made between the ages of 18 and 26. My first associate's degree I got from a community college, and I didn't have to pay for it because of the Pell Grant, but I decided to go to a university and got my bachelor's degree, which is where I really started to rack up the debt. Then in the last 2 years, I decided to finish a nursing degree at a community college in the last 2 years, but that's where I started to rack up even more debt. What really sucks is realizing that the majority of these student loans is not from tuition. It's actually from living expenses and living way above my means. My debt comprises of 2 credit cards, 5 federal student loans, and 5 private Sallie Mae loans. I can handle the federal student loans, but when I tell you Sallie Mae is bending me over and not in a way I like, it's actually insane. Sallie Mae is genuinely evil, and they prey on young students. And the reason why they take advantage of young students is because they know if you're reaching out to a private loan like that, you genuinely need it. Out of the 5 Sallie Mae loans I have, one of the interest rates that is the highest is 16.28%. The lowest interest rate I have with Sallie Mae is 9.88%. Now, my federal student loans are between 4 and 6%, which I think is manageable. Although I had parents who would tell me what I should or shouldn't do, I never had anybody really sit me down and fully teach me financial literacy. I never had anybody sit me down and really explain to me the scope of what I was doing and what it would look like in the future when I had to pay for it. In the moment, all of the student loans just felt like fake money because they just kept coming and I just kept spending. I don't regret any of the experiences I've had between the ages of 18 and 26 or any of the things that I've done, but I do wish that I managed my finances way better than this.
Yeah, that is, that's really unfortunate. I think I say this all the time. It's just really sucks how in this country education, I believe education is very important, but it's just so expensive to obtain. They make it so unaffordable, and they prey on very young adults that are barely into adulthood and give them all this money to just, potentially it could be really great for them, but for most, it's just going to be a debt they're going to be paying off for decades later. And, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, so I would just say if you're going to go to university, get a degree, which I think, I think is a really good thing to do. I'm a really big advocate for education, like I said. But just make sure it's worth it. Make sure that you do your research, have an idea of what career you want to get into, and really just do whatever you can. Because being in a situation like this at 26 years old is it's not hot.
I think what's even more sad is a lot of these student loans were going to rent, which my rent was around $1,200 a month, and that's been consistent over the last 2-3 years. Thankfully, I do have a finance bro as a boyfriend, and he is really great at managing money and managing wealth, and so I am working with him to do a snowball effect. If I snowball all of my loans at the current rates that they are without consolidating them, I can pay all of this off by 2032. It's really sad because I'm excited about starting my first nursing job next month, but at the same time, I know that all of the money I'm making is going to debt. I'm turning 27 this year, and I wish I could be thinking about starting a family or getting married or buying a house, but really, I can't think about anything but paying off this debt. The last thing I would want to do is bring a child into this world while I have debt hanging over my head. So it almost feels like my life is kind of on hold right now, but I feel like it's even more motivation to just pay this off as quickly as possible.
You hear that, politicians? This is the number one factor why the American birth rate is below replacement. It's not because of no immigrants or because of abortion or whatever else kind of bullshit they say. It's because people cannot afford children. Most people are in debt for the rest of their lives, for most people, I would imagine. And no one wants to have, people are being more smart when it comes to having children. No one wants to have children without having their finances in order. This is the reason why. We really need people to step up in office that's really going to be effective in helping Americans having a more affordable way of living. And I'm not going to get too deep into the politics, but it's just I really hate all the gaslighting that they do and all of the culture wars and things of why they're saying, like, the birth rate's low, and there's I hear things about the great replacement theory or this or that, and it's like, no, it's because people cannot afford children. People are trying to be smart. No one wants to just have children and they can't really do much to support them financially. So, just some food for thought.
It is what it is. What's done is done. And at the end of the day, if you are in your early 20s and you're thinking about taking out student loans, I urge you to reconsider and ask yourself whether or not you really truly need it. If I knew then what I know now, I would tell myself that no experience, no desire, no want is worth the stress that I feel now.
I am almost $1 million in debt. I am almost $1 million in debt. It's both good and bad. And my emotions kind of are in a weird spot with it because it's like I've worked so hard to get everything that I have, and I'm giving my children a great childhood, but I'm almost $1 million in debt. Me and my husband work really hard to have everything that we have, and our kids are getting the childhood that we could have only wished for. But also, this isn't how I want to live. I don't want to live in the stress, So doing this journey and taking accountability and really looking at our finances and trying to get out of debt is such a big priority to me, especially with my mental health, because Lord knows when you feel like you're drowning, even if it's just in your head, it puts a toll on you.
Whatever. So my dad is giving me some money to pay towards the interest because I just can't. Like, I can't handle it, you know? Thanks, Dad. Any Huzowskis, my advice to anyone in their 20s, I get it. Sometimes we have to open up a credit card, but I'm 31 paying off decisions I made when I was 23. When I didn't know what interest was. The fuck? What's interest? I don't know. Guess what? I know what it is now. I know damn well what it is, okay? And I don't want you to even meet her because she's... Interest is a... Okay? So listen to me and listen to me good. If you can't afford it, I'm not even going to say don't get it. Use Klarna, bitch. Use Klarna. You pay it off in 4, no interest. Like, you don't do it. Just...
Okay, so I'm going to end it here. Yeah, she's really lucky that she has a dad that can help her with it, because a lot of people do not have parents that are able to help or willing to help. But yeah, just, you know, when it comes to credit cards, make sure that you are familiar with your interest rates, and just don't overspend. Don't, like, just, if you can't buy it, okay, this is like my rule. My rule is, like, if I'm making like a big purchase for something, whether it's like a piece of furniture or even a car, if you can't buy it twice with the amount of cash that you have, I would say don't buy it. You know, that's just my rule. But let me know what you all think. Make sure that you leave some comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.